My Gavan and Melonine, and well met indeed. I'm Arakir Galadirth, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and after a week's absence, welcome back to the same, as we continue on as Dol Amroth. We haven't played Dol Amroth for some weeks, because I was away for a week. But most of you know that anyway, so what does it matter? If we are to catch up with where we are taking the fight to Mordor, who are also retaliating. So Mordor has struck back, and as you can see, they're besieging Fildan Kalime, and our main army under Bornivnir, though, was heading north to take How the Nur. But I think he might have to divert south to take back Dan Kalime. Captain Othrod, what do you bring? It doesn't show me. And we've only got the guardsmen. We've got some troops being trained in Tirothoros who are hoping to link up with Bornivnir, but I think we do need to pop back and take Dan Kalime. We've got someone coming up from the south. Where is... there he is, yes. Adrihil's going for Asthala, which will help us greatly. We've got troops in Istios who are waiting for more forces to come through with a very bizarre-looking fellow. He looks like he's wearing a winter coat and posing for a picture rather than preparing for battle. We've got some troops there in Barad-Han, I've just noticed, that aren't doing anything. But I think Captain Othrod will attack almost straight away, so we've got to go back and hit him while we can. But the armies over here can at least make their way east. How much do we make? About 2,000. We're not training anything else here. We've got 2 generals in here. Oh, yes. Are you the Elfir? I bet you are. I bet you are. Where is Imrihil? Yes, Elfir has come of age. Absolutely fan-bloody-tastic. So that is Imrihil's own son. One who we shall therefore, I am sure, get killed almost immediately. But we'll send him out into the front lines. So what are we actually going to do? Oh, in the north as well, of course, our main army under the Speaker of the Devil, Prince Imrihil himself, or Lord Imrihil, because Adrihil's still alive, is besieging Caer Andros. And we can't build any siege equipment because no one is dismounted. So we're probably going to be attacked by someone at some point, and we'll take the fortress through that. Once we've taken the fortress, we will hold it. And that will help Gondor, I think. And then once we've come up here as well, it's then only a short matter of time until Mordor are down. Now, this campaign will continue until Enedwaith is ready to go. Enedwaith will be the campaign immediately after this, when they're set up and ready. So we're going to play Dol Amroth as long as that takes. Ideally, we can capture Barad-dûr before that time, but if we don't, then so be it. I'm now just ticking us over till Enedwaith is ready, because I enjoy Dol Amroth. Right, you guys up here, we don't want you to just sit around there. Have I got a ship? Admirals are normally at the end. Oh no, there he is, in the middle. Oh yes, look, there he is, in fact. Perfect, so you go back to Dol Amroth, and if you can, do try and retrain. And if possible, can we get something else? We do make 2,000 gold coins. If I could get just a couple more units come through. I'm seeing 2 pikes, let's try and get those. How much do they cost? 760. It's a bit of a gamble, but we might get it. You can go into a fort, can you not? Oh, it's all the way down there. No, that's not really very good. Let's send Elfir out into the fort for now then. Oh, Atheland actually doesn't have anyone. We want Elfir on the front lines because he's Elfir. I mean, come on. So we don't need a general in Dol Amroth, really. If Isnir and Elfir come out, how much money does it go down by? Oh, an awful lot. So no, Isnir, you are going to remain in Dol Amroth. Elfir, for now, why don't you go to Methrast? It'll make it a bit happier and increase the finances from there. Perfect. Right, the Barad-Han army. We don't want you all sitting around doing sod all. So if you can come with me. Although, was I going to send you south to take that? Maybe I was. No, I'll tell you what, the army that we're hoping to train in Dol Amroth will sail them down here and assist with that lot. You guys can head over to support Bornivnir, who will now attack Captain Othrod. And he has 25, 9 experience Sloke in Usrim, 11 Varia Lancers, who are also 7 experience, or they have 7 experience, not also. No, I think we can do that if we can... hold on, was I deliberately not fighting this army? I can't remember. We're going to fight it anyway. May I also just say thank you an awful lot to the astounding number of people who have responded to the Divide and Conquer UI competition. Obviously, I did a video specifically for that, and about 7,000 odd people have watched it, actually, so I'm sure all of you have. But so far, I think we've already got something like 20 submissions, and the closing date is 2 weeks from now, Monday the something of November. 16th, I think I made it, because we've got absolutely no rush, so there was no point doing a week's long submission or anything. So we've got another couple of weeks until we close it, but the draw that it has brought has been fantastic. I was really surprised. I was expecting, if I am honest, that we would get maybe 1 or 2 applications or submissions. Oh, my mouse isn't working. Or does that not group? No, that's group, of course. You take a week out and you forget all of your keys. I was thinking we would only get 1 or 2 submissions, so the fact that we've got way up there in the 20 kind of range is just astounding. Right. Now we need both of these to deal with the cavalry. The main force of infantry. And where's our reinforcements coming from? Behind. Now we did attack them, but I don't think they'll let us group together. So we may have to fiddle around. But what I would like, the pikes will need their flanks protected. But we've got you guys whose flanks aren't as pivotal. So if we can group you like that. And then you fellows do the same thing on this side, just to cover the pikes. And also it means you won't take any real damage from any charging cavalry then. You guys can come over here just as essentially fodder. And archers in the centre there, protecting the general. And our reinforcements are just Gondor militia. Oh dear. But they might come in handy when the time comes. But are we going to be able to actually defeat this army? Black Uruks come down the middle, Maulers on the left, and Moran Guard on the right. With the Lokinas Rim, led by an Orc on top of a Cataphracts. That looks ridiculous. And there's the Variag Lancers. And they've just swiveled around because the Gondor militia has arrived. Well, let's speed it up. Speed it up and push for it. Work on Enedwaith has come along in leaps and bounds. Hummingbird is absolutely making mincemeat of the roster changes, and those changes are being made wonderfully well. And the reformed and changed Enedwaith roster looks fantastic. So far from the previews, I'm really, really chuffed with the revamp. And Enedwaith now feels like they're going to be... Enedwaith was always one of my favourite factions, and now I feel like they're going to be even better than they were before. A lot more variety in the unit styles, a far better sort of backstory for Enedwaith is being created, which I'm really on board with. And I think all in all it's going to be fantastic. Right, let's get the cavalry out here. Like, the Gondor militia is going to die, so if you just stand still and brace, those Lokinas Rim will shred you up. But that's not the end of the world. We have got some more forces coming. As our cavalry gets charging in. Well, that wasn't very good. Well, it was actually quite good. It didn't look like it was very good, but they did really well. Surprising. The Variag Lancers have been completely nullified, so that's worked well. And actually, the Gondor militia soaking up the attacks of the Inas Rim is probably the best we can hope for. Because the Gondor militia won't really do anything in this kind of battle anyway. And if, as I say, if we can keep the Franks protected, the pikes will take on these Black Uruks all day long. And with our cavalry as well being able to harass the back of the enemy, I think we might be alright. Those Orc Maulers don't really know what they're up to though, do they? But the Variag Lancers have died, so we can turn the Guardsmen onto the Maulers.
Only half the enemy force remains.
It's over here that we do need to support better, actually. I should have used the archers as well, now I think about it, because they're not going to do anything. But the Gondor militia is getting killed off.
Our ally lies dead.
And there they go.
Without their general, they may lose heart and flee. Only half our force remains.
We're going to do alright, lads. We're going to do alright. The ship and swan does not falter against such pathetic enemies. Sauron's campaign for Middle-earth will come to an end here. Right, you guys, stop. Change your focus. No! Oh, did they turn just in time? I think they just about did. As long as they're in shield wall, it doesn't really matter if they're facing... all they need to do is face head on, and then they'll get their mass rebuttal. They don't need to be in formation or anything. Right, but those Inas Rim with their 9 stars. Remember that experience points boost your melee attack. So on a unit like the Inas Rim, who are already fantastic, it is a crippling boost to them. But with a high melee attack, that don't mean jack all when you're being prodded in the side with a pike. So if we can try and get into defensive positions. Is there something left there? Oh, Black Uruk's fighting to the death. The Running Guard are routing. Our archers are getting some shots off. There we are. Fantastic. They are getting kills though, aren't they? Let's bring the pike line a bit thinner. They'll run away as soon as the pikes start attacking them though, that's the only problem. Because they know that they can't take pikes on. Let's see, that was a painful amount of troops lost for them there. Keep our general protected. I'm not bothered about the archers. If they die, they die. I think we've got this. But yeah, look, they're going for the... Buggers. They're even flanking. Have you seen the bloody AI? They know, for a change, that charging head-on into the pikes is not going to win them the day. Oh, fantastic. We just caught one. Come on, guys. Yes, yes! We got him. We got him. Bornivnir, 157 kills. Fantastic. He's rapidly shaping up to be the savior in the Southern Mordor campaign. I do like a good general who we can get behind, a story that we can create and follow. Always on board with that. So, talking back to Erned Wythe, I don't think it'll be very long until they're ready to go, but the work needs to be... The scripting work and coding work behind the scenes for Erned Wythe is not very much, but we just have to obviously drum up the desire to do it. And contrary to the belief of some people in the world, we aren't going to break our backs in our free time to get the mod out. We do it as and when we do it, and it'll be ready when it's ready. Which it will be ready when it's ready. Mordor's army falters and dies. We'll leave Bornivnir around Vildan Calumet for now, and we'll wait for Arthnir to come over, and then link the two up. And we're going to need to take Imlad Khan unless we get struck in the back a few too many times. But then the army in Findable may be able to do that. And let's just hope Nimrazir stays in the bounds of Vinya Forestar. I'm sure he will. But anyway, let us hope that the Mordor army that tries to relieve the beleaguered forces at Caer Andros is weak and pathetic. I'm hoping that they're going to pull those troops out of that fort and come at us with those, because I think we can easily deal with those. And so I look forward to wiping the floor with them. Mordor is just so woefully unequipped to deal with a cavalry-heavy army. And also, of course, we have a large advantage at the moment that the AI... It almost feels like cheating, really, but... the AI can't really plan for geographical features. So the army on the eastern side of Caer Andros has been moved over there to try and attack us. When they've arrived at the town, they've realised that they can't get round it. So they're going to stand there. Now, what they will probably then do is run up here, because they know the next way across the river is at the Argonath. So they'll head north, and then... But once they've gone north for one turn, the Fog of War will descend. And... No, the Fog of War wouldn't descend, would it? And so that'll stop them, but they still do it, actually. So my reasoning is completely out the window. The problem is still there, but I can't give you a reason as to why. Anyway, what they will then do is walk back again, as if they can then get round to Caer Andros, which they won't be able to do. So they'll go back up north again, and then this cycle will just rinse and repeat until we take the city, and then they have a target to attack. To be honest, it's just another thing you chalk up to just dated game, really. I don't think the AI in Medieval 2 is bad for the time that the game came out. By modern standards, of course, yes, it's terrible, it's archaic and horrible. But by the standards of the time at which this game released, I think the AI is actually very good and quite competent. Oh, it is doing all three of those. Oh, that's fantastic. And we're earning 3,000 now, or 2,500. Do we think we could sneak in some Haven Guard? And I'd love some more Blackroot Vale archers as well. In fact, I'd like the archers more than the guard. Now, in preparation of this, we'll send those two into that fort, because Dol Amroth gets terrible recruitment, free upkeep. 2 units from that, and 2 units from that, and that seems to be it. Yeah, we should chuck some free upkeep in the Tirith Ayar, because you just can't keep anything free in or around this place. Ready your weapons. Anyway, then move on to Stala. And in we go.
Protect the blood of Numenor.
You fellows. Right, Vild and Calumet needs someone else. You guys might as well just stay in there. And then we can link you all up.
Ready your weapons.
Can I merge you? No, because we don't really have anything to merge. Those 25 archers aren't really worth taking either. We don't really have any options. Oh, no, that can train actual troops. Let's try and do that. I don't think we'll be able to, but we'll pile them on anyway. And another end turn ticks us through. I'm thoroughly looking forward to concluding recording today, as I'm purchased Foundation, a game on Steam, in the Steam Halloween sale, and I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm just about to build a monastery, so I've laid the plans, and I'm eager to see if I will be able to then generate enough herbs to keep the citizens happy. But that's totally unrelated to what's going on screen before you. I thoroughly enjoyed my break, I have to say. It's nice to have the odd day where you don't have to do a YouTube recording. But it's pleasant to be back. And it's nice to be back with Lord of the Rings as well. This is my most favourable method of consuming Lord of the Rings, if you will. The films, of course, are fantastic, but you can't watch the films every single week. Well, I certainly can't. And The Hobbit is atrocious, so I try to avoid it. And outside of that, many of the games I just don't really like. Of course, I like Battle for Middle-earth 1 and 2, both classics and fantastic games. But I haven't installed them on this computer yet, actually, and I need to get my disk drive out in order to do that. I have a portable disk drive. Take a couple of ladders as well. What the hey? And the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor games, I must confess I don't enjoy. Not because they're horrendous law breaks or anything. I think we're going to have to leave Imlad Khan to Adrahil because they're moving in over there, and the army's coming down from Halthanur. We need to deal with that. So if you ride north and just shut him down, and you guys try and catch up, and as these aren't going to have free upkeep, there is no point keeping them in there, so we will take those. Take that Guardian unit. Oh, we could have had them, but we don't have enough money for that. The army in Dol Amroth is training both. Fantastic. Anything else? And cavalry is always worthwhile, isn't it? But then we're only mopping up rebels and then heading north, so actually cavalry is ideal. Because then this army is going to be facing off against Mordor like the rest. Oh, Admiral Castor here. Will no one rid me of this bloody Admiral? I don't think I can kill him. He's got more ships than I have. And I don't want to build a navy just to stop that one ship. The minor inconvenience he causes by blockading us every now and then will allow it. If I move down here, though, he's going to attack me. But those troops, we can't get them out. I'd be tempted to just leave them in there and let them stay there for the rest of the game. Oh, Istion, you're in Finabel. Halthor, you're going to link up with the army that's over there. You're moving on Gobel Mirnon? No. That's still your province, isn't it? No, that's our province. They might actually be moving on Gobel Mirnon. That would be a pain in the neck. Apologies, I shouldn't really cough on the microphone and then should cut them out when I do, but... yeah. Right, we'll end the turn again. We'll wait till our fleet can move south, and then we're going to move... I think the gentleman who's currently in Istios will move him to Finabel. Istian himself is too good a general to be wasted as a governor. We'll pull him west and let him take command of the army that's going to crush the rebellion and take Vinja Forestar. And then we will sail him north at the head of the army. Oh, balls on a sword. Where did that army come from? And we can't run away. We can run away, but we're going to have to do it in the battle. Because then our army will run to Tirothoros. So we're going to go into the battle and instantly run away.
Men to arms.
We're surrounded and outnumbered. I didn't think the fight against Mordor would be fought here in Horondor. We're miles away from their heartland. But then, of course, we're shutting down their access across the Anduin. They've got nowhere else to put their army. So they're coming for us. Right, we're going to run away as soon as it begins. So come and stand here and then just simply run away. Now, you can't exit. If I exit, there's a risk that you will lose troops, even though, of course, we're not even going to fight the enemy. So you need to just always make sure you do just run away. It doesn't happen often, and sometimes you can exit. But generally speaking, clicking exit and ending the battle will often do a weird little auto-resolve. And you'll lose troops that actually you didn't lose. So, always run away. Right, and then they'll pull back to Tirothoros. Then, provided he's not attacked, We'll pull Bornivnir back to Tirthoros and maybe break Mordor's advance there. Or perhaps at least just regroup our army and then we can take them down one at a time. I think that may be the best course of action. But there we are, as expected. And there we are. We're going to have to run away with Bornivnir as well. Mordor attempting to divide and conquer, but not very well, because they left the other army on the other side of the river. What have you actually got to Goth? 3 maulers, 2 hosts, fighters and rounding guards. So no ranged units again. And an army that once again, Bornivnir will absolutely tear asunder once we can actually fight him on the field. But of course he can't do that without an anvil upon which to crack his hammer. So we need a few ground troops. Now we should be able to run away from this one by running over here, which is the direction of Tirthoros, in fact. Yes, fantastic. Away we go. Although it may look like a defeat, men, it is a tactical withdrawal, and we shall come back over these fine hills with an army that Mordor can't dream of opposing.
This defeat is a bitter drop to swallow. Next time it'll be our foe that sups from this most foul cup.
Sorry, excuse me? What? 2 men, hastily, in the retreat, have somehow died. But no casualties are... That's bizarre. So we were penalised by 2 men from the game for retreating too often, I expect. That's a very cool artist depiction of the ford of the Brunnen, and the reason why it's very good, of course, is because Glorfindel is present, and he was omitted from the films, understandably, because he is a minor character, but he's a minor character in the story of the War of the Ring, but of course he's a major character in elf history, and if you just read The Lord of the Rings, Glorfindel will come across as a cool guy. This all-powerful being who's barely described at all. But then, of course, once you then read the wider stories and you learn of what Glorfindel did in the first age, he becomes a true role model. I've always preferred Glorfindel to Ecthelion as well, I have to say. Though Ecthelion, of course, holds the greater title. Or, Snow Orc Dominion. Loads of things are going on. The Anduin are dying. Bjorn's horse has fallen. Ecthelion's name is a war cry to the elves, and the orcs are said to fear the very sound of his name in battle, whereas Glorfindel does not have that. What was the mission we just failed? Was it reinforcing Umbar or something? Ardamir doesn't like us, which is a damn shame. I think we did kill everyone there. Oh, we weren't attacked in Mirlon, so that's some reprieve. The garrison at Esthala is weak. We could attack. It is only 4 turns, and Imlad Khan is not going to be making anything for Mordor for a long time. 12% Mordor, Melkor's Shadow, that's pathetic. So what we can do is mop up Captain Tugoth, and we will do that. No one is attacking us up in Cardandros. Mordor's army is all held on the eastern shore. So we'll just siege that out for 6 turns, to be honest. We have no other choice. We have no infantry. I physically cannot attack that castle. But the longer that they hold out, the weaker and weaker, of course, they're getting. Their troops are diminishing, and we'll take Zagar on the battlefield any day of the week. But our Tirthoros army stands ready. I won't take the things that can be retrained. So I'm going to take everything except for you 2, you, and you 2. Because that's more than enough of an army. Yeah, that's a proper army. And then you fellows can all be retrained in time. And we meet Tugoth on the field. As promised, Tugoth, we have reassembled, and now we come to meet your challenge. And meet it we shall. With aplomb. I'm hoping to do the next faction lore video this weekend, because of course the United Kingdom is returning to lockdown as of Thursday. You're watching this on Tuesday, so in 2 days' time we're going back to lockdown, which means we just can't do anything at the weekends or in the evenings anymore. At all, really. We can't visit people that aren't within our household, I assume. I haven't read up on the rules. And I'll just have more time at home again, so I'll be looking for more distractions. So I will do the faction lore video, and I am also keen to get around to doing if lockdown is returning. I'm also keen to get to do a tier list for the factions bodyguards, because I think that would be quite a cool change, or a different video style. Right, we've only got 1 archer unit, but you're not really going to play too much part today. We are attacking them, but... Oh, actually, you can go forward and coax the enemy in, can't you? We'll use you two nice and wide like that. And then what we will do with you is have you blocking the sides so the pikes can't get flanked. Make the pikes form a line so that they cover each other's. And then you guys can go over there like that. And then the third one we'll position as and when necessary. And the archers and the cav will go and lure our enemy in. The enemy might just run at us, but I doubt it. They'll probably run away or reposition or sit on top of their hill. But they've crucially failed to bring anything with range with them today. And so we are free to just loose every arrow we have until our enemy bites. Although I think if we are going to do that, please take on the maulers. Because maulers don't have a shield and are the most susceptible to ranged attack. Whereas Moran and Guard are at least a little protected. They've got a tiny little shield, as of the Orc host. I think that's everything that we're fighting today, isn't it? Oh, the fight is on the end. Right, the enemy has taken the bait, so let's run back. Well, it's not really bait, is it? The enemy has agreed to charge at us instead of the other way around. So, let's pull the archers back. Let's move you over that side, actually, then we can flank you if need be. Let's run the archers so that we can get through the pike line quickly. And our general can probably start harassing the enemy, to be honest. Oh, look at that! That was absolutely crippling! Almost half of the battalion dead and straight away. That's fantastic. Right, you fellows. Well, shoot whoever you like. But actually, no, do target those maulers. Let's get them targeted early doors. Right, we're not going to be flanked this side, so turn the guardsmen around. You guys run over there. General's charging in. 17% of the enemy has died with only a few archers. Oh, and the Orc maulers are following the General's bodyguard around. Fantastic. Which means we can get a lot of arrows off before we actually have to face the maulers down. But now it's time to start doing as we usually do, springing the traps. Let's pull the cavalry back. And then if you can nip through that little gap. Ah, the Orc maulers did get attacked, but the archers can still assist there. Charge through. We don't really want to worry about the things that the pikes are holding, because they will take few losses and deal with them quite nicely. Oh, that wasn't really a charge, was it?
Battle goes our way.
Come on.
Let's pray it remains as such.
Oh, that's much better. It's bizarre, isn't it, how the AI works, how the charge orders work. Sometimes they will charge fantastically first time and just shred whatever you've told them to attack. And then other times, like a few moments ago, they just prance in like it's nothing. Like, what are you doing? Right, you go and lock down those maulers for me, and then have a nice large charge into their backs. Well, I'm charging them around before they've had time to regroup. Also, I'm not paying attention to what's happening elsewhere. And we should do that, I suppose. Oh, they've done very well. You can stop. Oh, you're out of arrows anyway. Alright, let's come and break some of these lines down here. There we are. 2 units gone. Oh no, I think we shall
It's time to press the attack.
capture them all. How many are we up to now? 89. Can you go and get those? How many did our guardsmen lose? 70, 66. It's about half each. 23%. That's not too bad. Up, 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 up they go. 64 of those, yeah, I'd like to capture those. They're running really slowly. They run so much quicker if you give them a normal move command than they do if you give them a attack this enemy command. It's very frustrating. I think that'll probably do us. 93, yes it will. Fantastic. 253 men perished, 111 from guardsmen, 107 from the guardsmen, 78 from the guardsmen. Pikemen, by comparison, they lost 1 and they killed 98. They lost 8 and they killed 112. But of course, that's no comparison to Bornivnir. 3 losses, 248 casualties inflicted. Oh dear, I can tell you now already that if we do a tier list of the bodyguards, then in the top tier, which will not be S, but will likely be A or 1, will just be the 3 cavalry bodyguards. Because nothing beats a cavalry bodyguard. They are so useful in almost all situations. But Mordor are at least throwing up some barriers to entry. And there is quite a large force around Haldon. We're not going to take that anytime soon. We're going to need the reinforcing army from Dol Amroth. So for the moment, actually, let's send you back and merge. Retrain what can be retrained. I think for the moment we'll just keep this in Tirathoros, and then we can move between these two quite easily. Imlad Khan doesn't. It's Khand that has this region over here, so I don't think Khand's going to give Mordor. I don't think Mordor will take on Khand if they can help it. But with us blocking the river, although it did say Minas Tirith was attacked again, didn't it? So, but I didn't see that Osgiliath had fallen, and indeed it hasn't fallen. So that must be a Mordor army from this side, but they won't have any teeth to their attack. But once Caer Andros goes down, Mordor will throw everything at that, and we can't really hold it with a garrison of cavalry, so I don't really know what we'll do. We'll have to just push out on the other side and keep one unit in there, one of the militia, I think.
Ready your weapons.
Yeah, we'll keep one of the cavalry militia as the garrison, and we'll make the army mobile so that it can always fight in the field. And that'll be the best bet, I think. Oh, they abandoned the assault on Imrahil's Point. They've moved up to Itheland. Well, each to their own. And the cavalry is training, and we are making money still. Right, and again, in anticipation of making that money, move you south. We're all going south in a moment anyway. Man, I don't think I will take either of these generals. As much as Elfir has lineage to keep up with, I'm tempted to leave him where he is. But we can swap these two round already. So Halthor, you go to Finabel and become the governor. And Istion moved to Istiost in anticipation of linking up with that army and leading it. Let's hope Adrian has enough to take Karnan after he's taken Esthala. But for now, that is going to be where this episode, I can't remember the number, ends. There will be two Dol Amroth episodes this week. So one today and one on Thursday. And then the faction lore video on Sunday, and of course a Skyrim video for those who are still enjoying that. But until we speak again, dear friends, it's good to be back. I'm pleased to speak and see and hear from you all. If you haven't checked out the UI competition submissions thus far on Discord, then there is a specific text channel that they are all posted in. You can go and look at them and have a read. Of course, they are just splash screens, but still you can have a look at them. You can't leave comments, and you can't leave whatever they're called, the little emojis, reactions. You can't leave either of those, but you can just have a look, so do that. But until we speak again, do have a fantastic couple of days, and until then, Navair Naden Pedamad Melonin, and farewell.